the difference of what you're going to get here with this episode. Okay, so let's get right into the good stuff. Like I said, basically what we're going to do is we're going to walk around ICAST and we're going to talk about each specific company's booth. And we're going to have some really cool guests along the way. The very first place that we're going to stop is Strike King. Now, Strike King had their best-selling gear on display, obviously, but they had a couple new toys out. The very first being some new soft plastic worms that were introduced into the KVD lineup. So they had a brand new filler worm and a brand new Zeus worm. Now, both of these looked really good. You guys know I'm a sucker for worms, especially finesse worms. So here's the fun part, though. You can listen to me talk about each of these worms, or we can talk to the man himself, whose name is on the package, who helped design them, to tell us about each of them. And I think you guys would probably prefer to hear from him. I know I would, so let's do it. Let's talk to Kevin Van Dam himself about the two brand new KVD worms that are being released from Strike King. All right, folks, we are here with the man KVD himself to tell us about the new worms they got coming out with Strike King. Kevin, there's two in front of us right now. What place do these play in your tackle box?
Well, so the new filler worm is designed to be, a finesse worm. It's a hand poured, open pour technology, so it has a flat side to it. It makes it perfect for drop shotting. It's basically a straight tail worm, but it's also great for a Nico rig. If you want to rig it wacky style, put a little nail weight in it. Just fantastic worm, super soft, great laminate colors. It's perfect for that finesse application. The Zeus worm is totally different. You can see it's a big ribbon tail worm. It has a small body, though. You look at the profile of it, it's much thinner in diameter than most big ribbon tail worms, and we did that on purpose. So, usually you're casting these out in open water. You want to be able to use a lighter line and a smaller hook and still be able to get a good hook set into the fish. So this small body allows you to do that. Has a really thin tail. You barely move this thing and that tail is swimming on it. So it's a subtler profile, smaller profile, large size, lengthwise ribbon tail worm. So, and these days, everything seems to be better, being a little bit more downsized. We're using a lot of finesse applications for it, and that's why we wanted to come out with something that really fit our overall lineup. We've got a lot of products at Strike King between the KVD Perfect Plastics line and the Rage line. We got a lot of options, and so each time we come out with something new, we want to have something that really fits the overall family and really does a particular job. So these are two baits that really fit a certain niche that we were missing.
Perfect. And when are they available?
You're going to see these both this fall. By October, you should see them in stores.
So there you go. A quick conversation with Kevin Van Dam about the brand new filler worm and Zeus worm. And that's what we did with this show. You saw a lot of really cool folks walking around representing their gear and the gear that they worked super hard to help develop. And we get the chance to go talk to them. And I wanted to specifically ask them about the gear, about the tackle, not about how the season's going, not about your favorite bait to throw in the summertime. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about the gear that's right in front of us with their name on it. What is it? Why is it unique? Why did you design it? What niche does it fill? I want to hear it straight from them. So Kevin told us about these two worms. The filler worm really is a finesse drop shot looking profile worm that was longer than most drop shot baits that I'm comfortable using. It's about the size of, I'd say, probably like a Zoom trick worm. It has that little teardrop tail, some really cool two-tone colors. I think this is probably going to be one of those that I personally will throw on a shaky head more than a drop shot, but I think that this worm could be really sneaky versatile. And they called it the filler worm because it helps you obviously fill your live well, fill your limit. It's a numbers bait. And then on the other side, you have the Zeus worm, which is, as the name implies, much bigger. It's a big ribbon tail worm. There are tons of ribbon tail worms out there, obviously, but this one is supposed to have a little bit more subtle tail movement, that bigger profile right in the middle, perfect for like a 5/0-ish hook, I would say, for your big summer worm. And these two worms were worms that were just missing in the KVD lineup, so they rounded them out. A couple new tweaks on a classic design. Both of these should be available this fall. Now, let's move to Strike King Rage Tail series products.